Yes, and welcome to the One Pride Podcast. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. And in this live stream, we are live right now, we're going to get into the latest Lions injury news, just simply the Lions news, some good stuff, and some really bad news I got to talk about in regards to Dan Campbell. Not him, but what someone and people did to him, I think is ludicrous. We're going to get into that. And Lions versus Arizona Cardinals. Should the Lions be concerned? What should the Lions do to win this game? All of the above. But before we get into that, hit that like button right now. I see everybody starting to come in right now. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to you for taking the time out of your day. Let's jump into the news really quick, and we're going to start with 3 players land in the top 10 of merchandise, and that's fantastic for the Detroit Lions. The Lions are becoming a team that a lot of people like. Aidan Hutchinson comes in at 3 for sales. St. Brown at 4. Gibbs at 8. So 3 in the top 10. Then you got Jared Goff at 19. Laporta at 44. And Penei Sewell at 46. Lions are getting a lot of love, and I think it does help out that obviously, first off, these players are great, but then you had Hard Knocks. You're seeing the personalities like St. Brown, who's can speak multiple languages. Aidan Hutchinson, the story from Michigan to the Lions. Obviously, what they did last year, you're having people fall in love with these said players all around the world, and I think that's awesome, man. And that's what Detroit's got to do, right? The grit, bringing in players who are likable, that are all about the work. They're all about hard work and ethic. They're not about themselves. They're more about the team, and people really like that stuff. Sports Illustrated, 50 most influential sports figures. Who lands on there? This is crazy, and it's much appreciated. And that is who? Sheila Ford Hamp is a top 50 influential sports person according to Sports Illustrated. That's awesome. And I think she should be. What she has done with this organization is absolutely stunning and amazing. Taking a team that was trash with a terrible organization under, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, and years of bad work done by them, and then obviously who owned the Lions before has been a disaster. She comes in and completely changed it and has been epic towards, how the Lions have changed this thing around. So shout out to Sheila Ford Hamp, no doubt about it. Let me do a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video. That is Game Time. They have killer deals, last-minute tickets, and lowest prices guaranteed, and they have a feature called Game Time Picks where you get the best deals in your area. I love Game Time Picks. Now I'm going to concerts on the cheapest, and it pops right up there. So go to Game Time so you can stop stressing and start getting hyped for the fun that you're going to have. It is easy to find and buy tickets for any kind of event in your area. That's sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. Their lowest price is guaranteed. That's the Game Time Guaranteed, which means you're always getting the best prices. And if you find tickets in the same area a sector or less, Game Time's going to credit you 110% of the difference. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. And in the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and if you move a phone left or right, you can see the surrounding area like a 3D live photo. So download Game Time, plug in Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, download Game Time, go to the redeem code section, plug in Chat Sports, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. You got to create an account. You got to have an email to save that money. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. So if you're buying Lions tickets this year, make sure using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. And a lot of good news there. I love what the Lions are doing in a popularity, but we got to go in a negative way right now, too, because this is unacceptable of what happened to Dan Campbell, our head coach. His address got doxxed. People are showing up at his house mad because the Lions lost a game. It was just that people figured out where we lived. We lost, Dan Campbell said. Somehow somebody gave his address out and sent a bunch of contractors to his house early in the morning to wake him up. Update. Harassment continued after the Lions lost the 49ers NFC Championship, lead Campbell to file police report. Campbell's family has already moved into a new home. This behavior is unacceptable. Unbelievable that people are doing this. Sending people to his house. He has got a family. He has a right to have his privacy. This crap is unacceptable. And if you know anyone that's doing this garbage, you set them straight. This crap needs to end. Absolutely. We lost a game. So you're going to send people to his house, to his family, waking him up and being a jerk? Who does that? We lost. It's a game. It is not real life. Okay? You don't need to be sending people to a man's house. Oh my God, I wouldn't like that at all, even if having to map Patricia. That stuff shouldn't be happening. At all. It's a game. It is not life or death. I just can't believe people do this. Sending people to people's house. Shockingly, this ain't the first time this type of stuff happens. It happened to me. People want to come to my house and fight. We got to stop this, folks. We have to stop this type of stuff. Sending people to his house. Waking them up, having contractors there. What's wrong? Why would people do that? I'm just stunned that this crap happens in 2024. Over a game. Look, I get it. We lost. It sucks. Okay, get over it. You don't need to be harassing people. You're not going to go 17-0. You're not going to win the Super Bowl undefeated. That's just, it doesn't happen. It doesn't. So knock it off. It is okay. It's going to happen. We're going to lose games. There is no reason to threaten people, send people to their house, say you're going to do crazy stuff. That stuff all needs to come to an end. And I know 99.99999% of Lions fans agree with this. So I don't think a single person listening to my video would do anything like that. Or I don't know, but it's got to stop, folks. We can't be doing this at all. Just can't be doing this. Now let's get to the Lions and the Cardinals game here, and we're going to do a little bit of a breakdown and give you an idea of what we're looking at. And it's going to be a tough game. They're a physical team. They're fighting for their coach. They are. But we're going to give stats here. Cardinals offensive line per PFF. Now this is PFF, so you just take it with a grain of salt. It is just one category. They rank their Arizona Cardinals offensive line 24th in the NFL. And they do have a starter out as well. The offensive line for the Cardinals is not that good. That's going to give opportunity for the pass rush to get to Kyler Murray. But the problem here is he's such a mobile quarterback that he's going to be getting out of these situations. So the Lions need to figure out a way to contain Kyler Murray. Don't let this man run on you. I get it. Their offensive line is bad. With that said, he's mobile. We have to figure a plan out in slowing him down. We do. They got a great running back, just an outstanding running back in Connor, who is a physical running back, and the Lions are going to have their hands full. They're one of the best running teams in football right now, Arizona. I know it's only been 2 weeks, and the Lions are one of the best run defense team in the NFL. Matter of fact, rushing yards per game for the Cardinals is 175.5. That's fourth in the NFL. And the Lions' defense is 76.5. That's fourth in the NFL. So you got fourth best versus fourth best. And so this is literally unstoppable force meets a movable object. Who is going to win this matchup? This could be the determining factor for the win and loss of this game. Remember, they are putting up 175 yards a game right now. Kyler Murray is one of the reasons for it too, because he is mobile. So it's not all Connor, and it's just their whole offense is the ability to run the football. Now, when it comes to their passing, right now for the offense, they're averaging 202 passing yards. That's 15th best in the NFL. So they're passing mid-range here. And the Lions are mid-range in pass defense right now. They're allowing 225, 21st in the NFL. So this is like two very close teams. You're going strength on strength, and you're kind of, I won't say weakness on weakness, but less of a strength, or mid-tier versus mid-tier. That's going to be a matchup to watch. It really, really is. So it's going to be difficult. It's absolutely going to be difficult. And I understand that the defense for Arizona, you can be able to put up points on them in the red zone, and you can go in between the 20s. We can get a lot of yards, but we have to convert. We have to do it because Arizona offense is going to score. Right now, they're putting up 34.5 points per game, second best in the NFL. So if we're not scoring, we're not going to win this game. It's simple as that, because this may have to be a back-and-forth type of game because the Cardinals' offense is really, really good. Again, points per game, they're second in the NFL. Total yards per game, they're seventh in the NFL. All right? Rushing yards, they're fourth in the NFL. Passing, 15th. It's a good offense, and they're physical. Remember, the Arizona Cardinals built their team. I kind of liked how the Lions did it through the draft. Their defense is where the Lions can have opportunity here. Points per game, they're allowing 20. That's 16th. Total yards, they're allowing 298. That's 13th. Passing yards, 207, 19th. So this is an opportunity for Jared Goff, St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs in the pass game, Tim Patrick, and everybody to put up yards and points, because the Lions are putting up the yards. Right now, total yards per game, we're second in the NFL at 413. So we just got to score. So we're second in total yards, but we're 16th in points scored. We have to score in the red zone in this game. If we score in the red zone, we should be able to win the game 100%, because the Lions offense is putting up yards, but we're just not finishing. Again, we're going to be doing the Q&A session here in about, 16 minutes. So if you got questions, hashtag Lions, whatever, I'll get to it here in about 16 minutes. So just hold on to your questions. We'll 100% get to it. Lions offense is moving the ball, but we got to score. Turnovers has been an issue too, right? Jared Goff's now thrown 3 interceptions to 1 touchdown. We're -1 in the turnover differential. We have to win it in this game. If we don't turn the ball over last Sunday versus the Buccaneers, we win the game, right? We lost by 4 points. We didn't do good with the field goal at the end of the first quarter. We made some self-inflicted wounds. We got to remove that. We have to score. And getting to the penalties here, we got to stop with the flags, the pass interference. Terrion Arnold, I love what he's doing. I think he's going to be really good, but he's got to get better with his hands, and we got to stop with the penalties. We have to. It's just not going to work out if we continue to do that. Players that we got to look out for the Arizona Cardinals is Dennis Gardeck. Their linebacker's got 3 sacks. He's been playing very well for their football team, and we got to protect Jared Goff. Graham Glasgow at left guard feels like right now he's the weakest link in the offensive line because he went from right to left. He's struggling a little bit. Frank Ragnow struggled this past game, but I don't think anybody is too worried about that. We know what he can do. The Lions' offensive line's got to get together. The cohesive unit has got to work. I think the problem right now is Graham Glasgow going from right to left. I think that's hurting a little bit, and that's where we're having issues with the offensive line. We have to get him acclimated, and if not, man, there's hopefully something that we could do, because right now the depth is kind of hurt. We got a guy who's on the NFI list. We got a guy who is sometimes hot and cold in Owishika. So we got to be a little bit patient here for the offensive line, but it's got to get better. Lions right now are favored to win the game by 3 points per Vegas. And generally speaking, 3 points is given to the home team. So what they're trying to say here is this could be a really close game. Right? I think the Vegas does believe that the Lions are the better football team, but remember that means absolutely zero because the Lions were favored by 8 points or 7.5 for the Buccaneers game, and I said they don't trust the line there. I wouldn't bet on it. Heck, I had the Lions winning way more, and I thought they lost. I was completely wrong. So I wouldn't look at this line and say, yeah, this is an easy win for the Lions. I'm not going to say that at all. I think the keys to this game, and there's going to be important parts, is the offensive line and the defensive line. It just keeps going back to it. Protect Jared Goff, and he's not going to be pressured to make a bad throw. When he's under pressure, he's not good. We got to be under when he doesn't have any pressure. He's top 5 quarterback. With pressure, he's having a rough time. It's not looking good. So we got to protect him. You protect him, he's just going to find the open guy, and the offense will move. You don't protect him, we're going to lose the game. And for the defensive line, we got to contain Kyler Murray. Just containment. I'm not looking to get sacks every single play. I'm just looking for him not to extend the play with his legs. That's what I would like to see. Who do you think's going to win in this game on Sunday? Who do you got? You got the Detroit Lions winning, put DET. Do you got the Arizona Cardinals winning, put a Z? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right now. I'm sure in a minute we're going to be seeing it here, and I expect a lot of Lions fans. See, alrighty, Lions, another Lions. Yeah, I know. I think I agree with you right there, for sure. You right there for sure. My prediction for this game, while everyone's throwing it out in there, we're starting to see it in the comments. I do have the Lions winning this game 23-21. And I'm not too strong on this prediction, though. I got to keep it 100. I'm nervous about this game because the fight of Arizona is real. And our offense has struggled. And I think the struggles is a little bit with Ben Johnson. And I'm concerned on this. And that's why I put it as 23-21. I'm not fully confident that the Lions are going to just be an offensive juggernaut because we haven't seen it yet. Hopefully they can. This is a defense they can put up some points. But I am concerned there. Will the Lions stick to the run game? We haven't done it yet in the first 2 games, except for the last drive in overtime. We really stuck to it. 55 passes in a game is unacceptable, and in Jared Goff, that's not his strength at all. We all know that. Jared Goff is a guy that should not be throwing. Should be throwing 55 times a game. I don't think any quarterback should be throwing 55 times a game. We got to help. You want to help Jared Goff out, we got to run the football. You got to get that play action going. That's where he really thrives. Play action, stands in the pocket, doesn't need to back up 10 million miles, throws the ball to the open receiver, good to go. When he gets flustered, he has issues. We got to run the football. And I'm not 100% convinced they're going to stick to it because we haven't seen it this year. So that's why I'm cautious on this in this game. In about 10 minutes or 11 minutes now, we'll go to the QA session. Just hold off your things really quick. We will 100% get to it here very shortly. Very, 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 very shortly. So that's what I got in this game here. I do got the Lions winning this game, but it's going to be a close one. What am I excited about and what I'm not concerned about going forward, what I think? First off, when it comes to Jared Goff, I'm not worried. I think he will get corrected. I'm really not concerned about it. He's a professional. We've seen now years of Jared Goff. He will have a bad game here and there just like anybody else. And every team go through struggles. So I'm not concerned there. Offensive line, I'm a little concerned because I don't know if Graham Glasgow can conform to the left side. I don't know, and maybe we got to wait till the Rook is back from the NFI list. Maybe he'll take that spot if he doesn't get better, but that is a concern level. Sam Laporta, I'm not concerned about Sam Laporta. He was open. He just wasn't throwing the ball. He's a great target, for sure. He's 100% a great target, so not concerned there. Running game, I'm not concerned about from the players, but I am concerned about it from an offensive play calling. So I know we can run the football. I know David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs can do it, but are we going to stick to it? I can't tell you that. Hopefully we run the football on Sunday. I don't want to see an overcorrection. I just want to see near 50-50 to the run to the pass. That's really it. If it struggles to run, you still run. You got to run throughout the first 3 quarters to make the fourth quarter where running is much easier, where you can close game outs. We did that in overtime. They just ran it. The team was tired. So that's what we need to do. We need to continue to run throughout the first 3 quarters so it opens it up 100% in the fourth quarter to make life a little bit easier. So we got to run the football. I'm just not convinced that we're going to do that. But for players, I'm not concerned. Not at all. When it comes to the defensive line, 0 concerns. I know a lot of people say, where's Ali McNeil when it comes to the sack? The defensive line's been outstanding, in my opinion. I'm not concerned at all. 0 concerns with the defensive line. I think they're amazing. Linebackers, Alex Anzalone's probably not going to be playing in this game. Not too concerned about it. Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Derek Barnes. They can hold the fort down. Is it a little bit of loss to have Alex Anzalone out? Yeah, for sure. But we seen last year, too, where Jack Campbell was in his spot when he didn't play versus the Saints, and he did a phenomenal job. So I think that will be the case again here. I love Alex Anzalone, but I think the Lions have the depth there to hold it down, and Malcolm Rodriguez has progressed. The secondary, only thing I'm concerned about is flags. I think they need to stay in man coverage. They're much better in man coverage. That's where Terrion Arnold thrives. I think Carlton Davis thrives. Hopefully they stick to that. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, the only thing I'm concerned is the mobile quarterback. Other than that, I'm not too concerned about it. He's allowed only 20 points a game. That's pretty good. I mean, that's what I've been wanting from him. I just wanted to have a mid-round defense. That's what we have right now. It's showing it's around 10 to 16, and that's all I'm asking for, in stats. So I'm not concerned there. He's doing where I wanted him to be. We just got to see what Ben Johnson can do here. Ben Johnson, stop outsmarting yourself and outthinking it. Sometimes the easiest thing is the best thing to do. If it works, it's probably going to work throughout the game. So run the football, run the football, run the football, and you can run it some more with some play action in there. So let's go 50-50 in the run of pass. Let's not do no 55. So I am a little concerned. I think that he may stick to his guns a little bit. So we shall see, though. Here in a couple minutes, we're going to get to the QA, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about in this game. Davenport practice. Marcus Davenport looks like he's a full go for Sunday's game. That's going to be big for the Lions' defensive line. That's already really good and a strength for this team. So I'm excited to see that. Players who are still on the NFI list is Christian Mahogany, and I really can't wait for him to get back. Broderick Martin, John Kaminsky, Emmanuel Mosley, not all eligible to come back till week 5. So we'll see after the bye week. Not practice, Graham Glasgow, a new injury. That was a knee. We should see if hopefully he can play, but if not, you got a Wushika in there. Alex Anzalone's probably not going to be playing due to concussion. Terrion Arnold, he injured his finger, but he also has an illness. He didn't practice. He'll probably play. It's an illness. He could go by then. Ennis Rakestraw, how do you injure your hamstring in warm-ups? I don't know his, what the status is going to be for them. And Afutu Amelifonwu, who, again, has been dealing with an Achilles/ankle or lower leg injury. And so We don't know the status of him as of yet. So we'll wait for everything to come through for the Lions. The injury report comes out today at past 4 o'clock, so we'll see it. I expect Anzalone to not play. I expect Terrion Arnold to play. I don't know really about the rest with Grant Glasgow or anything else. So we'll see going forward about that. Again, put up questions right now in the comments. We're going to get to them really quick. Matter of fact, we can get it to here starting right now. So go ahead in the questions right now. Throw your thoughts in the comments. Questions in the comments. We're going to get to it. Before I get to your guys' questions, I've been seeing this in the comment section. And in the comment section, I've seen this so far throughout the week is, should the Lions make a trade for a player? So in this mailbag segment, we're going to take your questions and we're going to talk about what you guys think. But of course, been hearing about this, about trade. Should the Lions make a trade? Should we go offense? Should we go defense? I don't think the Lions are going to make a trade at all until the trade deadline. Why do I say this? Because we don't officially know what teams are good. We don't officially know what teams are bad right now. It's only been 2 weeks. We need some more time to figure that out. And why do you have to figure that out? Well, because there's some teams that's going to be sellers and some teams that are going to be buyers. And at this point, we just don't know. Now, there is a couple things we do know. The New York Giants absolutely sucks, right? The Carolina Panthers absolutely sucks. Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2. They can turn it around. We know that, but we don't know how it really going to play. So we got to get closer to the NFL trade deadline. Is there a player you want the Lions to trade for? Is there a position? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to go ahead and do the super chat here from my guy, Roger the GOAT Gawardo. Blowing that. Roger Gawardo says $9.99. Says, yes, disappointing game last week. We're not fine-tuned machine just yet, but we'll be eventually. Can't wait. True Lions fan. Hashtag True Lions fan. Oh, look, man, it's only week 2. If you got the team doesn't suck, folks. It is week 2. They're starting off slow offensively. What can we take away so far? Special teams are good. Defense is really good. Lions offense is a slow to start. Guess what? Do you guys expect the Lions offense to be slow throughout the season? I really don't expect them to be slow throughout the season. I think it's going to pick up, and I think the defense is going to get better and better because of the young players in the secondary like a Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, and the new players like Carlton Davis. You got to get on the same page, and I think it's going to get better, and the defense is already pretty good. We talked about it. Right now, stats are showing defensively 10 through 16. That's where I wanted the Lions defense to be. That's where it's at, so I'm fine right there. Again, if you got questions, throw it in the comment section. Roger the GOAT Gawardo, thank you so much for your super chat. Next one here, James Janella, hashtag Lions. The Lions have 82 or 83 pass attempts in 2 games. That's the most in the NFL so far. Did we abandon the run game? As of right now, it seems like we abandoned it a little bit too much. I think this last game, man, really was crazy. And it hurt us. We need to just get back to what we do. Pound the rock, play action pass, round 50-50 pass, and run. That's what we need to get back to. Because I like Jared Goff. I love Jared Goff. But do you want to see him throw 55 times a game? I don't think anybody wants to see that. I don't want to see any quarterback do that I'm rooting for, because it's a recipe for a disaster and a failure. How many times did we watch Stafford as a Lions fan? This guy's putting up yards, but we lose. We need to be a balanced football team, and that's hashtag facts. Goff just needs to find the defense gives him, and he'll be great. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Dr. Detroit. And by the way, Dr. Detroit's not a Goff homer at the very least bit. So when he says that, you should be pretty secure. Hashtag Lions, is Hutchinson having an MVP season? Right now, yeah, he is. He's having an MVP season. 5.5 sacks in 2 games. Do you think he can get to 20 sacks? If this type of, even if the production drops to 1 sack a game, he should be above 20, right? So he is absolutely having an MVP type of season. And if he does anything, replicate any sort of success close to what he did last week, he will be a defensive player of the year. And, oh, by the way, it's a damn shame he was not defensive player of the week. That was brutal. And again, the media continues to poo-poo every dang thing the Lions do. That was ludicrous. He absolutely should have been defensive player of the week. That's not even a thought process. You got a guy, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, Vikings fan, made an article in which I agree that he says it's a shame that he's not. It's crazy. 4.5 sacks. Yay. It's ludicrous. Now, with that said, I know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense and Baker Mayfield does more of it's like a 9 to a 10 step drop instead of like 6 to 7. He was doing bigger drops. When you're doing that, it's easier for defensive edge pass rushers to sack the quarterback. But still, it's still what occurred in the game, and he deserves all the credit. Absolutely got robbed on that one. And yes, James Janela. So again, in the comments, put your questions in here. We're going to go ahead and answer them up. If you already put a question here and I missed it, I am sorry. Let's see. It was Shift Gus says, how you feeling about Sunday? Lions rebound? I do have the Lions winning this game. That's what I had on here. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I don't think it's going to be a walkthrough like maybe some expected when the schedule came out. I never believed that. I thought Arizona was on. When I looked at Arizona last year, it reminded me of the Lions year one, kind of where they weren't winning games, right? But they were in every game, and you could see the physicality. And so when I look at the Cardinals now, they remind me of the Lions of last year. They're going to lose games, but they're going to fight, man. This is not a team that's just going to lay down like the Chicago Bears did. They're not, or Chicago Bears offense or their offensive lineman who just doesn't do anything. What do you think about Tim Patrick? Love Tim Patrick. I was happy with seeing him on the field with only 2 weeks in this past game. And I think him added to the Lions offense is going to open up the offense. I think we're missing two things that affected us the last couple years. Graham Glasgow and Josh Reynolds. And I know a lot of people say, oh, Josh Reynolds wasn't that big of a loss. It's not specifically Reynolds himself, but to me, it's more the fact that Josh Reynolds was getting, especially in the red zone, he would find the open hole or find the open area where he was going, and the ball would be there. He gets open, right? We've seen it multiple times. He makes big plays on third down, and we've seen it on fourth down. And this is what my concern of not having a Josh Reynolds. So hopefully Tim Patrick can come in and fill that void. I like already what I saw from Tim Patrick. He caught everything. I'm sure he only had a handful of plays for him because he's only been here for 2 weeks, but I thought the routes were fine. And maybe he made a mistake. He's going to make mistakes. He's not going to get everything right because he's just been here, but give him that he's been here only for 2 weeks. I expect him to only get better, and so I'm fine with it, and I'm excited for the future he's doing. Do you still have confidence in Ben Johnson? Yeah, I have confidence in Ben Johnson. 110% absolutely have confidence. I'm just concerned that sometimes he gets away from what works. Sometimes just what works, right? Running the football works, and I think sometimes people outthink themselves. We got some big bullies up front on that offensive line. Just utilize it. I love the pass game. I like the big plays, but I think being a physical team where you're pounding the rock, especially in the first, second, and third quarters, it makes everything easier in the fourth quarter. And that's what I would like to see going forward. So hopefully he makes some adjustments there. But I expect Ben Johnson will do that. He's not going to sit here and take a dump on his play calling. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just absolutely sucks. I just think he may be a little bit cocky sometimes and thinking that it's going to work. And he also's got to look at the fact that if his quarterback is struggling a little bit, let's run it more. That's how you help it out, right? You run it, and then you could do the play action. If the offensive line is having issues in pass protection, so run the football a couple times. And then after a little bit, do a play action pass. It's going to open it up. That's what this offense did last year and the year before. They scheme players open, but let's get back to what works. Let's get to backwards. Survivalist, Amber in family. Murray's height has got to be an advantage. I'm 4'11" and hard to get a hold of, just underneath everyone. Whoa, man, you're 4'11"? Holy smokes. Yeah, we need to hand you to the ball and you can run like Ant-Man. Like out of nowhere, no one can see. All you see is a football running all over the place. It's his advantage. Kyler Murray's advantage is he is really fast. And yeah, he's a small guy, but he's compound too. He's not a Bryce Young small where his body is physically small for his size. He's actually pretty thick for his size, and that does help him out. He's got those thick thighs and legs, so that's going to help him out. And I think that's the difference between a Kyler Murray and a Bryce Young. Bryce Young's thin. He's short and thin. In the NFL, you can't be thin, man. Especially and you're a quarterback. Holy smack, you take a couple of hits and it's over with. Goff just needs to not have happy feet and make the reads. Yeah, I agree. Happy feet, I mean, that's really it. He's got to be confident in his offensive line to do that. I think it's correctable. I am not worried about Jared Goff. I've seen enough of tape on him to put that out there. Now, if we're talking about week 7 and the same crap is going on and we're talking about 10 interceptions to 3 touchdowns, okay. But does anyone really believe that's going to happen? I don't think so. I think that's... I mean, we got to look at the totality of everything instead of just looking at one game. And I look at the totality of since Jared Goff, Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, and everybody's been here. I've seen more good than bad. I'm all about that. I'm not really that worried. It's one game, folks, and we're not going to win every game. It's just not going to happen. The Lions were not going to go... What is it? Would it be 20-0 or 21-0 now? I don't even know. 17 games, put the playoffs to Super. That just wasn't going to happen. Okay, it's just not going to happen. And we're going to lose games. And I'm glad we didn't lose by getting our butts beat. We lost, by basically shoot ourselves in the foot. And it was a 4-point game. It's not like we lost by 35 points. We're not the Carolina Panthers. We're not the New York Giants. Hell, we're not even the LA Rams, who just got their doors blown off. So this is not some sort of issue that, in my opinion, is just going to collapse the team because first off, the team is sound in coaching, and they got talented players. So you're going to have bad games. They will get this thing going. Dr. Detroit says, I think Goff starts slow most seasons, and his timing not to panic. Yeah, he's not a panic guy, too. And that's something about, like, when you look at Jared Goff, you look at him, he's a confident guy. I feel like he has ice in his veins, the type of individual that's not going to carry on to the next game. And you contrast that with a Bryce Young, where you look at him, he doesn't look confident at all. He looks like, man, he's about to put a pacifier in his mouth. You look at Caleb Williams, he's like, Jared Goff, in my opinion, has the mentality to completely bounce back from this. He's not some scared little boy or anything like that. Let's see. Craig Hogg says the offensive line shares as much play of Goff as Goff does. The guards pushed back Goff's face and didn't allow Goff to follow through. He'll be fine. Craig, I agree, and that was more Graham Glasgow. And Frank Ragnow, he played a bad game. Those two played a bad game, but I fully expect Frank Ragnow to bounce back. There's zero indication. My 1 to 10 worry about Frank Ragnow is 0, and I started from 1 to 10. So there's 0 worry. Graham Glasgow is a little bit different. I would say it's a 5 out of 10 because he's playing out of position. Can he get back to that, that dominant play? It's yet to be seen because he hasn't done well so far in 2 games. We'll see what he does in this game. With that said, the defensive line of the Arizona Cardinals are not the best. So I think that Lions offensive line as a unit should bounce back on Sunday for sure. That's what I got going for right there. Let's see. Do you think that the 0-16 Lions would beat today's Carolina Panthers? Yes. They are bad. The Panthers, well, maybe not now, because they put in Andy Dalton, and I think Andy Dalton is an upgrade from Bryce Young. I do think so. And maybe he'll get a win out of it because he's just there and the Lions went 0-16. But my God, I mean, we're talking from the owner down is just, that organization is trash. Trash. That guy's a buffoon. I'm stunned they didn't try to take the team away from the clown. But they are a bad football team. Do you think Marcus Davenport will play? Yes, I do, Bradley. He practiced yesterday, full practice. I expect him to play. And I expect him to make an impact. Again, I think that you're going against the 24th ranked offensive line in football, Arizona Cardinals. And the Lions' defensive line right now is looking like a monster. We've seen it in preseason. Now we've seen it in 2 games. Yeah. I think he's going to play and he's going to make an impact. Hopefully, can he stay healthy? That should be anything about. That's the only question everybody has with him. Stay healthy. Hopefully, Goff and Ben get it together sooner rather than later. Yeah, it's only been 2 games, but this upcoming game is going to be interesting because we can't contain a mobile quarterback. SB line, that's my biggest fear, is containment. That's it. But I feel like the Lions offense can put up points in this game. They can. They can. Alex Anzalone out this week? I believe he will be, Craig. Yes, he is in concussion protocol. If he practices full today, maybe he has a shot. I don't expect that to be the case. I don't think he plays. That's just what I believe. I could be completely wrong. This is what I'm going off. What's going on with DJ Reader? Nothing. DJ Reader looking great. He's slowly getting implemented to the defensive line. Remember, he didn't have any training camp. So they're going to give him snaps, and the snap count will go up. And also, Levi Uzurike is playing out of his damn mind. Oh, and Eli McNeil is playing really well. So it's like the interior defensive line for the Lions could be the strength of this whole damn team right now. It really could. These guys are playing great. Now the question will be, we talked about extending Eli McNeil. What about extending Levi and Uzurike? Because with what he has done with his career, a guy who was thrown to the wolves and was thrown away has completely revived his career, and he looks dominant. So we got the money to extend him. He keeps playing like this. I can't wait to extend him because the Lions will need to if he continues the way he's playing. The Rams suck is when Quintez Cephas on the roster and probably will start Sunday. Damn, man, Rams are in a bad spot. And you know what? I've been hearing rumors they could trade Stafford. They could trade Stafford to the Miami Dolphins or something like that. They are in a world of hurt. They're losing everybody. Their whole team's injured. And I don't feel bad for him. I don't. I'm not a big fan of Sean McVay. The way he operates. Not a big fan of that guy. So I'm not too upset about it. Anzalone will be missed. We love him. Yeah, he will be missed if he does miss the game for sure. But thankfully, we got great depth at linebacker. We've talked about this endlessly before the 53-man roster. I talked about this Lions roster is really good, and the depth at linebacker is exceptional. You got Jalen Reeves-Maybin. You got Malcolm Rodriguez. They can absolutely fill in, and it sucks losing Anzalone. He's playing at a Pro Bowl level, kind of, right now. But Jack Campbell replaced him last year, and I thought he did a really good job. We'll see what can happen. But, yeah, we miss him, but rest up. Worry about your head, brother. We want your brain to be good to go. Unlike the Miami Dolphins, we want to protect our players with concussions, okay? Tua Tagovailoa should probably retire. And just like Javid Best did. Need more than 50-50 run to pass ratio. Need to establish the run. Hey, look, if you have to go more with the run, look, if the run is working and they're doing 5-6 yards a chunk, you just don't stop doing it. What would be the point? You're beating the crap out of the other team. You're eating clock. You're physically dominating them. You run it. If it's working, but again, if you're just going to sit there and do way more runs, you're going to flip it and we're going to do 18 passes to the rest runs. They're going to figure it out after a little bit, and then they're going to put that safety in the box, right? And then that's where you do play action pass. That's why we want to run. It's not just running, but it also opens play action, which Jared Goff, by the way, is one of the best in football at play action. Do what works for him. Do you think that Patrick can be our wide receiver 3? I liked this off from him last week. Yeah, I do, Craig. I 100% believe he can be wide receiver 3. There's nothing that I've seen from his play to suggest that he can't. Now, again, he was a player that was injured for Denver, so the only thing that would worry me is injury, right? But so far on the field, I mean, he'd do his best you could do for being there for 2 weeks. So each week he's going to get better. He's going to get more plays. He's going to be added. He's going to be out there connecting with Jared Goff. They just need to get the connection going, right? They just need the reps. And once they get the reps, he'll get better. Clearly, they're not on the same page fully because he's only been here for 2 weeks. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I love what I saw from Tim Patrick. Big guy. 6'5", big guy. I like that. I like that size. And I want to see them have plays specifically for him in the red zone. You have a big body target over there. Put some plays in there for this man in the red zone. Jared Goff, boom, lofted up there. Let's get a touchdown. Oh, I talked about him, Champy. Beware. I talked about him. 3 sacks so far. He's playing really well for the Cardinals. And that is the guy. That's the one individual I looked at and I said the Lions need to pay attention to. And that is Dennis Gardeck. Playing well. And that's all that the organization of the Cardinals over there are doing right now is they're getting good players on their team. They're drafting well, and they're believing in their coach. He's one of those guys. Smart move. Yeah, we can't abandon the run. We just can't do that. We got to keep the run going. It's extremely important for this team to run the football. And I'm going to stress this until I am dead. I did this through the Patricia eras. I did this through the Schwartz eras. I believe in run. I believe in the running the football. I think it makes you a physical team. It wears teams out in the fourth quarter. Do not abandon the run. I understand it's not as flashy as the pass, but it works. Goff to St. Brown, $83 million. Every player that got paid exists so far. You've been talking about the paid. I think that I don't think it's because the players got played. Penei Sewell was dinged up with an ankle. He's been perfectly fine. Amon-Ra St. Brown he's been dealing with a soft tissue issue, more of an injury thing. Jared Goff has been off. There's no excuse for that, but these guys will get better. I believe that they believe they will get better. I am not too worried about it. I think this team is just too talented and too well coached, too preached, too taught to fall off a cliff. They're not that type of team. You think you should get Mike Thomas? Well, he's an injury-prone player as well. Not much of a team guy. Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn specifically were around him. There's a reason he's not on this team, and it's probably because of all of that issues. Let's see. Our Lions are a great team, and I love them, and I believe them, and I support them 100%. I will support them even when they suck. I was a Lions fan before it was cool. I've been a Lions fan since I was 6 years old, and I'm 39. I supported them through. I was in Iraq in 0-16, so I didn't get to go in, and I only got to see one game in Iraq, and that was the Thanksgiving Day game in 2008. But when I got back, I went to the NFL draft because I wanted to see Matthew Stafford get drafted by the Lions. I knew that's what they're going for. I can see Holmes trading for Kupp. He seems like one of those injured players. Well, thankfully, if you want the Lions to trade, or if you're worried about the Lions trading for Cooper Kupp, or you're worried about injured players, you can't do it because you got to pass a physical in a trade. So he's not going to pass a physical. Thus, they're not going to trade. I think he's been placed on IR. Correct me if I'm wrong out there. Champy says, I'm a diehard Cards fan and I always have love for the Lions. The franchise is very similar. Lovable lovers that are sleeping giants. Yeah, Champy. I think I respect the Cardinals too because I love how they're building it. It's the same way with the Houston Texans and the Lions, Houston Texans, Cardinals. How they're building their franchise is the correct way. It's through the draft. It's getting coaches that will actually, players listen to, and you can see them fight. It's the same philosophy that's taken place, and I like it. I wish the Cardinals success, except for on Sunday. I don't want to see injuries for any team. See, what's the deal with Iffy? Achilles strain? Why isn't he on IR? It's something to do with an Achilles, Craig Hogg, the Achilles strain. I think they expected it to be less, and it's progressed. That's why they didn't place him on IR. They expected him to be healthy by now. It's just taking longer than expected. I think Laporta will get involved a lot on Sunday. I agree. I think Laporta is going to get involved as well. The problem is I just don't want Jared Goff to force passes at all to anyone. Just find the open player, and if that's Laporta the whole game, hey, throw it to him the whole game. Just find the open receiver. Don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about forcing to anyone. Just find the open guy. Slow down, dissect. He says no, or they're waiting Kupp. He might not need to be on air. Okay, so it's a close one, right? But he's injured. It's going to be. Let's see. But Laporta, let's see. I know Arizona's a well-contained tight ends, but I can see Laporta getting a touchdown this game. Look, he's a great player, right? Great players, even to go against defense that's good. This is what happens, right? Like, you could have the best run defense in football, and Christian McCaffrey probably could still get, 70 yards on them, or, it's just one of those deals where good players make good plays, great players make great plays, even against great players. So that's the situation there. So I could see him getting a touchdown for sure. If he's open, they're going to throw it to him. But they got a great tight end over there as well. Make no mistake about it. It's a really interesting game because the two teams are pretty similar in how they're built, in their feistiness and how they fight. So it's like the Lions of the West. I see the Vikings fans think they won the North. Yeah, look, I'm right now, if you think you won the North by week 2, that's a mistake because we don't even know what's going to happen. So many things occur throughout an NFL season that has nothing to do with anything out of the control. So say if they're right now, their offense is a juggernaut and everything, but what if they have an injury, a significant injury, right? You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to have a significant injury, so I'm not going to, if they want to act like they won the North right now after week 2, hey, that's perfectly fine. I want to wait till week 17. And even in that, man, you could get injured at week 17 and you're in the playoffs, and I don't know, you lose a star player and you lose. So I'm just, be cautious here, right? What's wrong with Rakestraw? He hurt himself with a I think it was a hamstring or something like that. Yeah, in warm-ups. I don't know how he did that. NFC North is wide open. As of right now, it's wide open. I still have the Lions winning the NFC North, but it is 100% wide open. It is. Any team can win the division. Whereas 3 1-1s and 1 2-0, so it's right there, and it's a tough division, that's for sure. Let's be fair, Packers, Eagles, Lions, San Francisco, Dallas, Rams, all the bottom of the NFC so far. Can't really judge. You can't judge them by week 2. If we judged it this early, that would be a mistake. It's an absolute mistake. These players are going to fight. If Levi continues on his current trajectory, what do we do with him? With both Aleem and Levi up for contracts, do you think we can retain them both? I think they can. They got the money for sure. I mean, we got $63 million in cap space for this up-and-coming season. Yeah, they can. And this is why the Lions haven't been in free agency just blowing money and contracts away. Their idea is simple. You draft your players and you pay them. They believe in the draft process. They believe in their assessment of these players and development. So instead of picking up at free agency, the Lions just re-sign their own guys. That's a big deal. I'm not on the huge show today. I was supposed to be on from 3 to 5 today, but I have to pick my daughter up from school at 3:30. So unfortunately, I won't be on today. Next week, I will be on. They asked me multiple times. I'm like, wish I could, but just me and my daughter live in my house. And my mom lives 30 minutes away, and I don't got a lot of family around here, so I don't have people that can help me out. It's just me right now. So I have to rely on myself, and I have to pick my daughter up. So sorry about that, but that's okay. Let's reach the Super Bowl, 100%. Folks, I got a question for you. Do you think the 49ers are a trash team? They lost. I don't think they're trash. I still think the 49ers are dangerous, man. I think they're the most, even though they took that L to the Vikings, I think they're a dangerous team. And there's teams that lost that are really good. There are teams that lost that are really, really good. And it happens. Why? Because it's the NFL. Good teams lose. It happens. Bad teams will win. It happens. Except for Carolina. Boy, they suck. I don't know if they're going to get a win this year. God, they suck. I feel so bad for Panther fans. And they have nothing to look forward to, not even the draft. They're going to have the first overall pick, likely. They don't even got a second-round pick, man. It's still with the Bears. That trade was a disaster. Oh, by the way, we can get 2 firsts and a third for Brian Branch. No, we're not going to do that. And then next year we'll trade him for a second-round pick. These guys are morons. Hey, if the New York Giants, if they continue to suck, do you think that anyone would ask to get Kayvon Thibodeau a trade? I'm just curious. Just curious. Hell, even the Ravens. Ravens, aren't they 0-2? Yeah. And I still think they're a good team. And the Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2. They always start slow for whatever reason. 3 years straight of 0-2. When are they going to fire their head coach? When are you going to fire your head coach? My God. I mean, that's 3 years of that crap. Minnesota, surprise NFC North contender. It is for me. Yeah, but they are in contention. Make no mistake about it. They are a surprise. Their offense is playing well, but I think that their defense gets figured out. They'll start coming back to reality a little bit. That's just my personal belief. I could be 100% wrong. I got no facts with it. That's just my personal belief. But they are 2-0, and they beat the crap out of teams. It's not like you beat the 49ers, man. That's a pretty big deal. And they did that. So, I can't get upset with them on that and what they're doing. I'm trying to find something, man. It's just not working, but that's okay. Let me get that. There we go. Folks, I've been on here now for about an hour. I got to get off and, enjoy the rest of the day. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. With that said, folks, adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.